Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the swimming part of our men's final. And we're just going to hear the introductions now. Now this is the start of heat 1. We've got 6 heats here, and these will be the slower swimmers of the 6 heats.
And they're off, and they may be the slower swimmers, but they have a couple of people here that need to keep an eye on. We got Pavlo Timochenko swimming in lane 4, Nicola Benedetti out in lane 6. Benedetti is the best runner in the sport, so watch and see what he does.
Now in this heat we've got Thomas Daniel in lane 3, who finished 9th after the fencing this morning, and Pavlo Timoshenko in lane 4, who finished 5th. So those two will be looking to add to their fencing scores. But Nicola Benedetti will be shooting up through the field later today. And also in lane 5, we have Mikhail Mitsiek from Belarus, who is in equal 10th after the fence.
Yeah, and my eyes are really on Benedetti. I've seen what he can do in the combined, so what he really needs to do here is keep contact, have any chance at all. He finished 16th in the fencing, but his run is truly phenomenal. So, but our leaders, we have in lane 3 and lane 4, Thomas Daniel from Austria and Pavlo Timochenko. And Daniel from Austria is pulling back, and we've got Timochenko out in lane 4 as our leader. It's Pavlo Timochenko. They're coming to the 150 mark. Pavlo Timochenko is our leader. He's followed by Thomas Daniel in 2nd and Mikhail. It's a race for 3rd. We've got a dead heat between Mikhail Mitsiek and Esteban Bustos from Chile.
But they've turned now. They've just got less than 50 meters to go. And he really is opening the gap up there, opening up the lead. Pavlo Timoshenko is going to take this, and it's a race on for 2nd and 3rd coming into the final 25 meters.
And I guess my horse, Nicola Benedetti, is not doing what he needs to do here today. He's really falling back behind, and I'm not sure he's going to make his seed time. But our leader, no doubt about it, Pavlo Timochenko. It is Pavlo Timochenko out first to the wall in a 2:02. Unbelievable. 3 seconds faster than his seed.
And that concludes the first heat. Now the swimmers have a seed time from their semi-final performance, so that was quite incredible that Pavlo Timoshenko swam 3 whole seconds faster than he did in the semi-final just 2 days ago.
Yeah, and you can see the strain on his face. He gave it everything he had. And Pavlo Timochenko finished 5th in the fencing. So to have him swim a time of a 2:02, which I think the fastest swimmer here, of course, is going to go in the low 150s, maybe even 150. Or I'm not sure if anybody's going to break the 150 mark today. But Timochenko coming down to the 2 minutes, that really puts him in good position, because what he is he's a great combined athlete. Obviously, the swim is not his best event. So we have a packed crowd here for this swimming event, the second discipline of the 5 pentathlon disciplines here at the World Championships, the men's final from Warsaw, Poland. And as the pool is cleared, we're going to be bringing in heat number 2. And Heather Fell, why don't you tell us something about the swimmers here?
So in heat 2, we've got a full 6-lane lineup, and in lane 1, we're going to have another Italian, Riccardo De Luca, who is also another very, very fast runner, and will be one to look to move up through the day and through the combined event. Lane 2 will have Peter Taboya of Hungary, who's currently 7th after the fencing, so he's still one to watch. Lane 3 from Argentina, Zabata Emanuel. Lane 4 from Lithuania will be Justinas Kinderis, and Ilya Frolov from Russia will be in lane 5. And finally, in lane 6 from France, we have Valentin Bello. But now we welcome the swimmers onto the poolside.
And we've got a packed house here in the Warsaw Natatorium, part of the Olympic Training Center, the Polish Olympic Training Center. And if you look at this Heat 2, I'm looking at Justinas Kinderas. Kinderas, last year's world champion. He will not repeat this year. I think that's a pretty solid known entity. Kinderas, I don't know what happened to him in the fencing event, but he's seated at a 2:03 here. I'm not sure if all the air's out of his balloon or not, but we got some runners. You got De Luca from Italy out in lane 1, Ilya Frolov in lane 5, Valentin Belot in lane 6. And I saw Belot in the combined event run from 18th to 1st. So if he can keep, he's seated at a 2:04 from the semifinal. If he can get down close to 2 minutes, he could really move up and be in position to strike in the combined.
So that is all of our swimmers introduced to the crowd, and we're now going to hand over to the starter. And that's the start of Heat 2. They are underway, 8 lengths of this 25-meter pool, and well, it's going to be no one taking the lead at the first 25-meter mark. We'll wait and see what comes out of the turn.
Keep your eyes on lanes 4, 5, and 6. Those 3 athletes, Justinas Kinderas, Ilya Frolov, Valentin Belot, Kinderas, of course, is a legend, but look at Frolov. Ilya Frolov, he's a former world champion. He's a great combined athlete. He had a decent fence. He has a chance here. And he's staying with the leaders. Kinderas is setting the pace.
This is quite an interesting heat. We've got a lot of potential medalists still. We've obviously got the riding and the combined event to go after this swim. And yes, it is only the second heat, but we've got some athletes who have proven they can do it in the past.
Kinderas from Lithuania is the leader. Kinderas is not in contention for the medals this afternoon. He just didn't fence well enough, but he is setting the pace. So you have Kinderas as our leader. Ilya Frolov looks like he's got second by a half a stroke. And they're turning and moving to the 150 mark.
And Kinderas is stretching his lead into the 150 mark, but at the moment, it's pretty hard to call who's in second and third. The rest of the field are all turning very close together, but Kinderas is going to take this. He's just got to hold on another 60 meters. Can he do it?
You've got a dead heat for second. You have Tabolia, Zapata, Frolov, and Belot, dead heat for second. Let's see what they have left in the tank. And it is a race to the finish. Kinderas has the win, no question. But the second place, it is going to be close. Heather, you call it.
I think Argentina just took that. I think that the second place went to Zapata, but Kinderas held on. He was hurting at the end. His stroke got so short, but what a time. He swam that in a 2:01, and that is 2 whole seconds faster than his heat time. So he went out and gave it everything there, and you could see the pain in his stroke. But here down in lane 6, we've got a very happy Valentin Belot, who swam a 2:03. He took a second off his heat time as well, and he's actually looking very happy with that and knows with his combined he can make a difference.
That was an extraordinary heat 2, and it's setting the pace for the rest. We've got 6 heats as we mentioned before, so we'll have heat 3 as they'll clear out heat 2 now. We'll be welcoming the swimmers for heat 3, and as we get into the swimmers for heat 3, Heather, let's talk a little bit about them.
Well, we've got another Frenchman coming in lane 1, Christophe Paté, and he's had a poor fence, but we'll be still swimming hard for the team. It'll be interesting to see which members they've got. But in lane 2, currently ranked 4th after the fence, we have Jan Kuf of Czech Republic, and he is most certainly going to be one to watch. At the moment, he's ranked 16th in the world, but got a bronze at the second World Cup this year, so he knows how to put it together. Lane 3, we've got Charles Fernandez from Guatemala. And lane 4, Dmitry Kipilansky, who's currently 3rd after the fence, representing Ukraine. So we've got lane 2 and lane 4 to watch. Lane 5, we've got Stanisław Zaraliov from Belarus, and another Frenchman out in lane 6, Valentin Brad. So 2 Frenchmen to watch out for in this final.
And the big guns are no doubt, for me, Dmytro Kurpelansky in lane 4. He is a great combined athlete. He got third in the fence. And here come the swimmers. Here they come of the World Championships, Heat 3. They are excited. They are focused. You can hear the crowd in the background. Leading that march, Valentin Prad, going to be out in lane 6. The official introductions begin now. In lane 1, we've got Christopher Pat. Lane 2, Jan Kup. In lane 3, Charlie Fernandez from Guatemala. Dmytro Kurpelansky in lane 4. Stanislav Zerlu from Belarus in lane 5. And they're rounding out the heat, Valentin Prad in lane 6.
So we hand over now to the starter and the race.
They're off. It's a fair start. Again, my money's on Dmytro Kurpelansky. He's actually seated second in this heat from the semifinal. He's going to key off Charlie Fernandez. Charlie Fernandez from Guatemala, first at the turn. Fernandez is an interesting character. His father's a missionary. Charlie accompanies his dad on missionary missions around the world. He's a great kid, great athlete, youngster. Lane 6. Our leader right now is Valentin Prad out in lane 6. He's got by looks like maybe a half a stroke. Still very early in the race as they hit the 75-meter mark.
Now I think coming out of that turn, it is neck and neck. Just got Pat from France dropping off, but the other 5, lanes 2 to 6 currently neck and neck. I'll let you call us at the 100-meter mark, Rob.
It's a 100-meter mark there. The leader was out in lane 2 at a 58.69 for the first 100 meters. Jan Kup from the Czech Republic. Let's see if he can turn it on. But I still am watching Kurpelansky out in lane 4, because this is all about the medals at the end of the day, and this is a very important race for Kurpelansky.
Let me just remind you, lane 2, Jan Kup, who's currently leading. He's in 4th place after the fencing. And lane 4, Kurpelansky, who is neck and neck for second. He finished 3rd in the fence. So Jan Kup and Dmytro Kurpelansky are going to be looking for points and hoping to top the leaderboard before we move into the riding event.
It's great when the athletes swim what they say they're going to swim. Easy to follow. They're all bunched. We have our leader, Jan Kup, no question. He's turning it on. He's extending his lead. He does not look like he's dying. He's got 12 meters to go. He's got a body length lead. And Kurpelansky out in lane 4. Dmytro Kurpelansky did what he needed to do. He got second in that heat, but he turned the time in that he needed to turn. Let's see what he actually swam.
Now that was very interesting that our highest seeded athletes after the fence came top 2 in that swim. So they will have just extended their lead from the rest of the field that they will have been racing against in that heat. That's heat 3 of the 6 heats here we've got in this men's final for the World Championships here in Warsaw.
That was really an exciting heat 3, and I think for those of us who really understand pentathlon and know the pentathlon animal, Kurpelansky did what he needed to do. We're still waiting to see what kind of a time he turned in. Those have yet to be posted, but he did finish second in his heat behind Jan Kup. Kup has an opportunity as well. He doesn't have the experience that Kurpelansky does. He fenced well. He finished 4th, of course, but so he still has a great chance. This may be the coming out party for Jan Kup.
I think so. I mean, he's had a very strong fence, and Jan Kup actually won a bronze at the 2nd World Cup this year, but still is only ranked 16th in the world. So if he gets a strong performance here today, he'll shoot up those world rankings.
Absolutely. They will be clearing the pool here, and they will be introducing the athletes from Heat 4. let's talk a little bit, Heather, about the athletes from Heat 4, the next heat.
So we've got from Mexico in lane 1, we've got Jorge Nzuza. Lane 2 from Korea, we have Woojin Lee. Lane 3 from Hungary, Bensei Demeter. Lane 4 from Korea, Woojin Hwang. Now those first 4 athletes are all ranked from 20th or lower after the fencing competition. So they'll be looking to help their score of their team, but realistically medal chances will be out of the chance for them. In lane 5 we've got Yasser Hefni, who finished 13th after his fencing. He's representing Egypt. And then his teammate, also from Egypt, Eslam Hamad, will be out in lane 6.
You know, for me, the interesting story is in lane 3. Obviously, this is Heat 4. Lane 3 is Bence Demeter. Demeter's father was an athlete who I competed with. So he's from that Hungarian machine. It was fun watching him fence today. He fences just like his dad. I got a big kick out of that. It's interesting, the family relationships that exist here within the sport of pentathlon. The Zapata brothers, the El Jaziri brothers, I should say the Zapata brothers and sisters. You know, there's a number of folks that have made this a family affair. And you're right, Heather. I think that this Heat 4, as far as the medals go, is really a non-starter. It's not something that, with the exception perhaps of Yasser Hefni, he's the only athlete who may be able to claw his way into the top 6. And he will have to do that. He will have to claw his way into the top 6. I don't expect to see great changes in the riding event. These are good. These are the top 36 athletes. And don't forget, over in the men's semifinal, we had 3 semifinal groups, but there was basically 100 athletes in this field.
And all of these athletes you're seeing swim here today are already top-class athletes. To make it into the final at a men's world championships is a feat in itself. And then the competition resets. Basically, they start again from a blank slate. And coming into today, it was a very open competition. The men's event is so strong at the moment, and it just proves having so many athletes in the semi-finals just 2 days ago.
Absolutely, and I was asked earlier today, before the fencing event, who was the favorite, and I had to look at this field, and I said, you know what? Who isn't the favorite? There are that many that are that strong, and here they come. This is Heat 4 of the men's final World Championship swimming event. It'll be 200 meters freestyle.
Now, in the heats, the qualifiers for this final, the fastest swimmer in this heat was Bensei Demeter, so he'll be going in lane 3, and he clocked a time of 1 minute 59.3. So we'll be seeing these swimmers go under 2 minutes. It'll be interesting to see if they can really step it up and bring out some even faster times in this final.
You watch the athletes; they're drying off the starting blocks. They want to have a dry service. They don't want to slip off the start. I saw, as the team walked in, I saw Marek Mackay, and one of the officials over there. He was the former coach of Egypt. So we have Yasser Hefni again, and Eslam Hamad. We have 2 Egyptians in lane 5 and 6, and he high-fived his guys. Marek actually coaches Ireland today, but he's still, those are his boys. He brought them up as kids. And here we go. And it's a fair start for Heat 4. Everybody is out fast. You know, look at Yasser Hefni, who really, out in lane 5, who really is the only athlete who has a chance here to do something in the overall pentathlon. He has a very odd stroke, wouldn't you say?
It does look quite uncomfortable. He breathes every 2 strokes or every 1 repetition. And it's quite a short stroke, but at the moment, he's dropping back a little. And just in the lane next door to him, we have got Hwang Woojin from Korea, who's taking the lead. And he's going to be leading, I think, into the first 100-meter mark, but very closely followed by Bence Demeter from Hungary. And they are pretty much neck and neck as we come up to the first 100 meters.
Yeah, you couldn't ask for a better race between our leaders. You've got Hwang still leading, and Demeter just a fraction of a second behind. He's letting Hwang do the work, and he's sitting on his shoulder as they are approaching. What is that? at the 125 mark. They're turning. Our leaders haven't changed. Where our leaders are in lane 3 and lane 4. They're stroke for stroke, approaching the 150. Demeter is making a move. He's trying to pull ahead. He's got a very slight lead over Hwang from Korea.
But then for third, right now, at the 150-meter mark, the other 4 athletes turned pretty much spot on. So it's going to be interesting to see who's got the juice left in the tank for this last 30 meters. They're going to be hurting now. That last turn, your legs feel like they freeze when you hit the wall. But anyway, taking it away now is the Hungarian Demeter, who is coming home so strong.
He's just lengthening his lead. I'm sure his dad will be happy for him. So we've got a win out of Demeter. We've got a second place for Hwang, and there is a fight for third. Was it Hamad? Eslam Hamad from Egypt pulls in the third place out of heat 4. Again, this heat not particularly important relative to the overall scores because of the fence. As the field is shaking itself out, those people who simply had a bad day today in the fence, they're out of it and they're going through. They want a PR though. Some of them want to swim their best times ever. A few of them I think would like to pack it in, but they're competitors.
And also, the important thing is these athletes have trained all year and have tapered and made themselves in absolute peak condition for this competition. They want to know how their trainings work. They want to test themselves, and they may realize that unless there's a miracle in the riding, they're not going to end up in with a chance. But they're competitors. They want to race, and they're racing themselves as much as their competitors, within the final here.
That's true, and as we watch the athletes from Heat 4 leave the pool, we're going to be bringing in Heat 5. There are 6 heats today, so there are 2 heats remaining. We have Heat 5 about to be introduced, but let's talk a little bit before the introduction, about what we're expecting out of Heat 5.
So we've got quite a mixture here in Heat 5, but this is when we see all the times. Pretty much everybody should go under 2 minutes. In the qualifiers, the slowest time we saw was a 1:59, and the rest from all the way down to 1:56. So it's starting to get fast now. And we will have lane 1, Arthur Lanigan O'Keefe from Ireland. We'll have lane 2 from China, Su Haihang. Su Haihang is actually 13th after the fence. So, if he has a really strong swim, being in this second fastest heat, he could move up. From Russia then in lane 3, Maxim Kustov. Adam Morosi from Hungary, world champion and Olympic bronze medalist. He had a terrible fence this morning, down in 30th. But lane 5, we've got from China, Jianli Guo, who's currently ranked 6th. And most importantly, in lane 6, it is Alexander Lesun from Russia, who is currently ranked 1st after the fencing. And also, Rob, where do we start with Lesun?
Alexander Lesun, he is the definition of cool. Did you watch him walk through here? He's got his goggles on. He's ready to go. He's got his game face. He came here to win the world championship. He is our leader. He is actually seated last in this heat, but that's just fine by him. All he wants is to post a good, solid swimming result. This guy doesn't do anything bad or even not good. Everything he does is solid and great. He really is the man to beat here. He is a professional. So this is going to be a great heat. I really want to, what can you say about Alexander Lesun that hadn't been said? And they're off. It's a fair start for Heat 5. Approaching the 25-meter mark, it is a pack, and they all flip together for the most part. I'm looking at our leaders, understandably, in lanes 3 and 4. Maxim Kustov from Russia, Adam Morosi from Hungary.
I think Adam Moroshi's going to have a point to prove after his very disappointing fence. He's going to be taking this swim out, taking those frustrations from that fencing, and showing them that he is still a top-class athlete.
Absolutely, and he is a perennial favorite. He comes from a machine of a organization. The Hungarian Pentathlon program is very strong. Flipping now at the 75-meter mark, Alexander Lesun, he has moved to the side to the lane rope. He is trying to suck off the wake of Jianli Guo and get as much as he can. He's going to swim as close to that lane rope as is comfortable. And again, all he needs to do is post a decent time. That's all Alexander Lassoon needs to do. And I think we're going to be mentioning that name a lot today.
I think we are, but those athletes, they turned in 55 seconds at the 100-meter mark, and it'll be interesting to see if they can hang on and stay, all of them, well under the 2-minute marker. But now coming up to the 150 mark, it's pretty much neck and neck as we come up to it. We've got Russia and Hungary battling it out, and they turn basically feet together.
And we have in lanes 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, we still got a race going. Lagging back behind from Ireland in lane 1 is Lanigan O'Keefe. But the Irish program really has developed well too. I've seen it in recent times. So I'm glad we've got an Irishman in Heat 5. So our leader currently, Maxim Kustov in Heat 3.
And the final few meters, and it's Russia who take it. That was a fast time. We all just have to wait for the final timings. But that was Maxim Kustov of Russia, who took it from Adam Morosi in the second position.
And Adam Morosi just did a fist bump. So while I'm not certain of his finish time, he is, and he's a happy guy. So clearly, I'm guessing he swam a personal best today. He's very happy with the result.
Now I think from our rough timings, we've got around a 1:56 for the leaders there, but that's only very much an estimate at the moment, and we'll wait for the times to be confirmed and bring them to you.
And I got to say something about the superstar Alexander Lassoon. He did what he needed to do. While he wasn't in the top 3 in this heat, he was close enough, just close enough to stay in the hunt. And I think he's well on his way to capturing a podium finish this afternoon.
I think he must be the favorite right now, because he's currently ranked number 1 in the world. He won the gold medal in World Cup final, and he's the current European champion from this year. And after the fencing competition, he's ranked first. That swim, that was the second fastest heat. There's only going to be a few swimmers going faster than him, and I think bookies, if I was putting a bet on that, then I would go for Lassoon.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to get any argument here. I think he has to pay overweight for when he leaves a town, because of the amount of gold medals he usually brings home. He's an extraordinary athlete, and the best way to say it, he's a professional, absolute pro. And what I love about him is he doesn't get emotional about too much. You can sit down and talk to him in the middle of a competition, which you can't do with a lot of the athletes. And Alexander Lassoon is happy to just chat away and have a conversation like it's a walk in the park. So we are clearing the pool. In fact, we have cleared the pool from lane 5. We will be bringing in the final swimmers, the fastest swimmers of the men's final. This will be Heat 6, the final heat. Let's talk a little bit about them.
Now this is when I get excited. This is where we are going to see some amazing speed in the pool. Final heat, the fastest heat. And from the seed times, swam earlier in the qualifiers, the fastest was Amra El Jaziri, who posted a 1:51.5. But Amra El Jaziri and Jamie Cook are going to be in lane 3 and lane 4 next to each other. Those two have a great rivalry, and it's going to be really interesting to see how they take it on and how they really help each other get to, we're going to see a really fast time today.
And they're bringing them in. These are the fastest swimmers of the men's final. They're led in by Simon Casse from France. He's got the French hat, the French shorts. He's out in lane 6. Behind him, Han from China. Jamie Cook from Team Great Britain. And he's got a great set of British sweats on. He must be warm.
Jamie is going to be focused right now. And this for him, he hasn't had a strong fence. Same for the British out there in lane 2, Joseph Chung. For the British boys here, it really is about showing that they've been at altitude, showing how their training's worked, and they are just out there to post a really fast time.
I'm going to go with the perennial favorite in the swim, Amro El Jaziri from Egypt. He, interestingly enough, he's a medical doctor. He managed medical school while doing pentathlon, which is incredible in itself. He is the Olympic record holder in the swimming event. So let's turn it over to the starter. And they're off, and it's a fair start. As you would expect, El Jaziri and Cook stroke for stroke.
Now, the interesting part, Amr El Jazeeri has everything to swim for right now. He came second in the fencing. So, being in the fastest heat, he is going to most probably leap ahead of Lasun. And it really is all to play for. But coming up to the 50-meter mark, Rob, can you call it?
Jamie Cook's got the lead. Jamie Cook has about a one-stroke lead over Amr El Jazeeri. And swimming with Cook is Han. Han from China is matching Cook stroke for stroke as they approach the
75-meter mark now, and that was pretty much our leaders. Well, we've got 4 who are neck and neck as we come up to the 100-meter mark. Maybe Amr El Jazeeri and Jamie Cook just taking the race on now. Jamie Cook is going to turn first at the 100-meter mark.
Amr El Jazeeri has the fastest turns I've seen. Jamie Cook turned a little in front of him, but El Jazeeri came out even with him, and Cook's having to work to back up to get that one-stroke lead. It will be Cook in the wall first.
Now, it's going to be interesting if we can see another world record here today. We saw the British girl, Samantha Murray, win the swim and an incredible world record. But Jamie Cook is the current world record holder. Amr El Jazeeri in lane 3, next to him, the Olympic swimming world record holder. So, what are we going to see? We've got just 40 meters left to go.
This is not just a 2-swimmer race, this is a 3-swimmer race. You've got Jihao Han from China out in lane 5. So you have lanes 3, 4, and 5. And it is Jamie Cook. Actually, El Jazeeri and Cook turn at exactly. Heather, it is too close for me to call.
Oh my God, no! Amr El Jazeeri is just taking the lead. I'm obviously British. Come on, Jamie. This is one really tight finish. And they swam.
Amro El Jazeeri. It's Amro. Amro takes the. I don't know what kind of a time to have. Look at there. Amro El Jazeeri putting the number 1 up. That was as much of a rivalry, bragging rights swim as anything else.
That really was. And Jamie Cook had the lead with just 25 meters to go, but he had nothing left in the tank. Amr El Jazeeri came home so strong, and he has not only won the swimming with a very fast time, he will have added a lot of points to his great fence this morning, coming second in the fencing. He is going to be up there now. It'll be interesting. I think he would have overtaken Lasun, and we'll have to wait to find out the final scores after these first 2 events. But it is it from us here at the swimming pool, and we'll be joining you over at the riding.